And we have the pleasure joining us on the line today from the Hofstra Pride Women's Lacrosse team. We have Alyssa Perella, Darcy Smith, and Alexa Matera. First of all, ladies, thank you for joining us. Let's begin with you, Alyssa. I know it's an unprecedented time right now for everyone. First off, how are you doing? And, your friends and family and everyone around you right now.
Yeah, I'm doing great. Things have been good. Luckily, my family and friends have been healthy and safe during this time, but we're enjoying it. Yes, being inside has been a little bit difficult, but it's been really nice to have a lot of family time with my brother moved out. Usually him being back and everyone being together. It's been really nice. We've been enjoying each other's company, but yeah, just happy that everyone's safe and healthy.
That's great. And how about you, Alexa? How is everyone in your circle doing?
Everyone's doing well. It's definitely something to adapt to, having everyone home. Parents aren't really used to having my brother home. So, just being home and kind of trying to have a set schedule to stay on because, we're always used to having a schedule and, being home, there's not really a schedule to be on. So it's been good. Everyone's healthy and safe. So that's what matters.
That's great news as well. And Darcy?
Same thing. Everyone's staying well, friends and family, and just going off Alexa, just creating a schedule to stand by with school and still staying active in this time is kind of a little hard to adjust to, but making it work.
Well, that's great news as well. Well, glad to hear that everyone's healthy. So the three of you had the option to come back for your senior season, and all three of you are coming back. Before we get into that too much, Alyssa, we'll begin with you. Just talk about how the season ended, the reaction of the team, where were you guys, just the surreal moments that led to the cancellation of the season.
Yeah, so I think that this tragic time in our world had been just kind of a little voice that we've been hearing back and forth. Nothing was really happening yet, and we were just playing our normal practices and games, had our game against Johns Hopkins, then our big game against Maryland, and then we were in Boston College, and that's kind of where everything became real. Unfortunately, it was a tough loss to us against Boston College, but after that game, Shannon pulled us over to the side, the seniors, and kind of looked at us. And usually after a loss, you could tell Shannon's pretty upset and just kind of wants to get to the next game and fix everything that was kind of stopping us in the game. But she kind of had this different look and kind of nervoused us in a little bit. But she kind of stood there and was very realistic with us and kind of said, we're not sure what's going to happen moving forward, but I just want to tell you guys, you seniors, and just let you guys know first that things are happening and we're not sure how to handle it, but it's bigger than ourselves and we just have to take it day by day and hope for the best. So that tailgate was a little upsetting for us, not only because of the loss, but just standing in front of our teammates and our families and just kind of realizing what was happening and what was going on. So it was sad. And then even just on the way home from the bus, that's when professional sports teams were canceling seasons, and that was what really became real to us. And I remember turning to Alexa and Darcy and being like, I don't even know what to think. And then the conversation in the locker room, it kind of all trickled down then, and it was really hard to take in. But at the end of it, Shannon really made it a point to us that this is bigger than ourselves, and we have to do this for the safety of ourselves and for the team and for the world, and just take it day by day. But yeah, definitely a lot of tears and upsets, but definitely feel grateful to have another opportunity moving forward.
Absolutely. And I'm sure the news, Lex, definitely had to be really tough, and seeing all the cancellations of professional sports and then the trickle down to the college ranks was, did you really feel, I guess, until the announcement of having another senior season, did you really feel at one point your career was over? And how did you feel you and the seniors kind of handled that time before these rulings from the NCAA came out?
I think it was really difficult. I think it was kind of an emotional roller coaster. Like Alyssa said, after the BC game, we kind of had thought that we were next because we had found out that the Patriot League had canceled as well. So we're like, well, this league already canceled. We might just be canceled next. We don't really know what to expect. And it was really out of our hands. And I think me, Alyssa, and Darcy, being captains, really felt something special with our team. And we really wanted to finish what we started. And I think it really hit us that we weren't going to be able to finish that. And I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to continue my career at Hofstra, and I didn't know if I'd be playing lacrosse again alongside Alyssa and Darcy. And it just happened to work out academically and athletically for me. And I was able to come back, and same with Alyssa and Darcy. So it's definitely an awesome experience.
And Darcy, just kind of tell us how also your feelings throughout that process was. I'm sure the wait had to be excruciating to hear if you were going to come back. What thoughts were going through your head as all these decisions were being made?
Yeah, so like Alyssa and Alexa said, like we were kind of in the locker room, and Shannon, again, kind of just like told us that the CAA only suspended at that point, kind of like trying to give us a little hope, like maybe we can come back. But like at the end of the day, we knew there was something bigger than just lacrosse, and like everyone was getting canceled and everyone was going through it. And she pulled the seniors aside and she said she was going to do whatever in her power to get us another year. And I know, us, we were kind of like, yeah, like if it all works out, we would love that. So it was a couple of weeks, like about a month or so that until we announced we were coming back. And in that month, we had to figure out the schooling, like how scholarships are going to work. So it was like a process, and it was new for everyone. So, it was a little like stressful to figure it out how it was going to work out, because we were here for 4 years and we wanted to come back and be able to play together with each other one more year. And we're so thankful that we get that opportunity.
Absolutely. I know we're all happy for you as well. And we'll stay with you, Darcy. I know this time of year, I mean, you'd be getting ready for what more than likely you would think would be another chance for to play in the CAA tournament. Last year, this team, got to the title game, overcoming a lot of obstacles and getting to the championship game. And I'm sure it's got to be weird right now that you're not preparing for it. So, how much momentum did this team, do you think, had a chance to make a run this year?
Yeah, I think, we had a few losses early to some very good teams, but I think like at the swing of things when it came to CAAs, like we knew that was the time we had to like completely lock in. And like I think we had so much potential, and we were right there, and we were ready to make a good run and go to the CAA title game again. And everyone was so excited. We had that feeling from last year where we lost by 10 goals in the CAA game, and we didn't want to feel that again. We wanted to come out and show like who Hofstra was, and we were ready. So it is weird. I was actually I'm still living with one of my teammates, and I said to her, I was like, right now we'd be like, this is the week we'd be getting ready for CAA. So it's so weird that we're sitting inside and we can't even do anything about it.
Indeed. And Alexa, same question to you. Just, this time of year, you'd be getting ready probably for the conference tournament. And this team, like I said, had a lot of momentum after making the title game last year. And unfortunately didn't get to see what the potential was this season. How did you feel about this year's team?
I really felt that we were a special group of kids. We really had kids that wanted to get better, wanted to work hard. And I think after, losing to Towson and JMU last year in regular CAA play, we could have gone 6-0 in season. And we lost those 2 games, especially JMU in double overtime. And then losing to them in the championship, I think, as a team, we came together for this year, and we really wanted to do something special. And everyone was looking forward to CAA play. And I think we were just ready to get after it. And we did have our ups and downs during season. But once CAA play came, we would lock in and be ready to go, and all the mistakes would be behind us. So it was definitely devastating to not be able to play CAA.
And Alyssa, this team, like we said, made it to the championship last year. What did you guys learn from that championship run? You didn't get the result you wanted, but obviously valuable experience, and you'll be able to bring that into 2021.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that anyone who knows has played in their own conference tournament, it is like a whole different animal. It just gets down and gritty. It's a lot of wear and tear on your bodies. You're playing a lot of games. You're watching a lot of film. And I think that's also, too, the best part of the season. And I think any athlete can agree with that. It's that all that hard work you did during the season, and even in the off season, like that's what you work for, and that's what you want to be the best in your conference, and you want to hold that trophy up. And previous talks with Alexa and Darcy, we've had this in our heads since we were freshmen, and it was really tough to kind of accept the fact that we weren't going to be able to get a chance to do that this year. But it's also such a relief and an amazing feeling knowing that the 3 of us are going to be able to help lead next year's team to the same place and hopefully win and go on to the NCAA tournament. So although it was hard to accept, it's really exciting to see what we can do moving forward.
Indeed, and I know next year feels so far away, I'm sure, for the three of you. I mean, you're supposed to be playing technically right now. And let's talk about the decision, though, you had to make, or you had to make in regards to coming back. I mean, I know a lot of you could be graduating right now and maybe continuing on either playing professionally or your careers, among other things. Let's talk about the decision you had to make to either return or to move on. Let's begin with you, Darcy.
Yeah, so when it came about, Shannon, she was very good staying in contact with us, like letting us know, like, day by day what Hofstra was deciding, what was going on with the NCAA. So once she was able to collect information, it came down to, like, me and my family, like, what was going to be the best opportunity for me. So luckily, I'm going to be pursuing MBA in finance next year. I'm going to be able to continue my schooling, and it worked out with lacrosse as well, Shannon was able to help us all out and, like, get us to where we needed to be for next year. So the decision, it came down to what was best for me, what was best for my family, and it was really me and my dad who kind of looked at it. Shannon helped us out, and then once we figured it out, it was easy to know I was, like, coming back to Hofstra.
And that's great. Alexa, what about you? What was all on your mind on having to make this decision? What did you have to consider before you made your decision to come back to Hofstra?
I definitely knew I wanted to get my master's degree in TESOL, which is teaching English as a second language. It was just really a matter of where I was going to go and what program was going to work for me. But then when all this came down and the coronavirus came out, going to Hofstra again and continuing my education became something I really wanted to do, knowing that I could play lacrosse again, and then finding out that Darcy and Alyssa would most likely be coming back as well was definitely going to help boost me to want to come back and play with them again and finish what we started. So I think it really came down to what school worked academically and athletically, and Hofstra was able to offer me what I needed to continue my education in lacrosse.
And we'll wrap up with you, Alyssa. What made you want to come back to Hofstra? I mean, you also had, the CAA all-time record for goals possibly being broken this year as well if the season kept playing. So I don't know if that played into effect at all, any personal goals on wanting to come back. But what made you want to come back to play this senior year?
Yeah, so I really had to go back and forth with it. Probably out of the three of us, I was the last one to give Shannon a call and tell her I was coming back. But it really did have to do with considering what I wanted to do in the future. I wanted to make sure I was putting myself in the best path I could moving forward. And I thought that going back to school was the best way to do it, especially with everything going on. How difficult would it be for me to get a job after this year? So I felt like taking that extra year would give me the opportunity to figure out what I really want to do and make a path for myself. And knowing that they were coming back really gave me that extra push. I remember talking to my parents and I'm like, how do I let them go after a CAA championship and having to watch them? And I would know it would break my heart if I wasn't there with them. So them going back really gave me that motivation, and I'm just really excited to be back there on the field with them.
Once again, we're all really glad to have you back and get to watch you in the spring next year here with Alexis Matera and Darcy Smith and Alyssa Perella here on the line today. Ladies, first of all, let's talk about maybe some things that are going on right now in your lives. Obviously, maybe wrapping up with school, but let's maybe some fun things. What has been one thing maybe you've done as a group or that have maybe done with your family that has been, maybe interesting to share with the people out there right now, a fun thing that's been going on while you've been in quarantine? Let's begin with you, Alexa.
Really, me and my family have been trying to stay active. We've been going out for walks with my dog and, walks as a family through the park and stuff. And I think I've been big into reading motivational books. I'm reading the book Win Forever by Pete Carroll. Watching some really good shows on Netflix. Last Dance, Michael Jordan just came out, which is really good too. And I highly recommend Outer Banks, also just came out. So just really doing things as a family, staying busy, whatever we can do right now.
And I can attest to Outer Banks. I just binge watched that this past weekend. Really, and if you've ever been down to the Outer Banks, there's some similarities. So I've been down there a few times myself. So we'll go with you, Darcy. What have you been doing during quarantine that maybe something fun that stands out?
Yeah, same as Alexa. Trying to stay active. Just doing like home workouts, going for jogs. We got spike ball in the backyard, so we've been doing things like that. We're into puzzles. We actually do that a lot as team-oriented. We have puzzle nights. but I've been doing it here in quarantine also. And Outer Banks is great. I've been watching All American as well. That's a good one if you haven't watched it. And like just picking up new shows. I've been trying to read more. And it's crunch time for school, so got a lot of papers to write and finish out for the year.
No, that's great. And we'll wrap up with Alyssa.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of workouts with my mom. We've been putting them up on the TV, and we've been doing workouts like that. So that's been fun. Yeah, a lot of board games. We're a very board game type of family. Trouble, a game called Sequence, all of those, and just cooking, staying. Just keeping myself going, not really trying to sit on the couch too much. And we've actually been looking to watch some home movies, so that'd be kind of fun. So yeah, nothing crazy.
All right, we're wrapping up here today with the three ladies from the women's lacrosse over at the Hofstra Pride. You three have been the cornerstone of the Hofstra women's lacrosse program for a few years. Let's talk about the chemistry you three have and why that has helped you three been successful on the field. Let's begin with you, Darcy.
Yeah, so we actually have all known each other for a while now. We all played the same club lacrosse team, so just knowing each other. And then since freshman year, we were all close. And then sophomore year, really, I feel like is where our friendship all took off. We all were roommates in the dorms together. And just like even that, like off the field, just like hanging out, doing everything together, it really helps grow on the field. And then these past 2 years, we have been housemates off campus. And just like for little things, like we text each other for everything. And that really translates to the field. And it's cool because Alexa is running the midfield, so she gets to play with both on the offensive side with Alyssa and then the defensive side with me. So Alexa kind of gets to be that little glue piece in the middle of the field with like playing with both of us, but even sometimes Alyssa has to run over. So having each other and like having the trust in each other off the field really helps on the field. So just knowing they're by my side and like if Alyssa has the ball and Alexa's on that side, like just knowing they're going to get the job done. And like sometimes all three of us were on the circle together this year, just like knowing I have like two of my best friends off and on the field is just awesome.
That's great. And Alyssa, what do you think about the chemistry of the three of you? Obviously, the three of you have a lot of history.
Yeah, I think that what's really special about us is we complement each other really well. We do have some different personalities, but at the same time, we're very much alike, and we make each other laugh. Alexa and Darcy literally make me crack up all the time. They're just fun, exciting people to always be around, and I've been lucky enough to not only have them for the last 4 years, but to be co-captains with each other. And it's just something I learn from them every single day. They are such amazing captains and incredible players, and just having them by my side and going through this journey together has just been more than I could ever ask for. So I love them both so much, and I would say this even if they weren't on this interview with me. So I just hope they know that I really appreciate everything they've done, and I love them both so much.
No, that's very nice. And Alexa, we'll let you wrap up with the last word on this topic. And I'm sure this whole pandemic probably brings the three of you a little bit closer together, experience that you will probably share for a lifetime of what you three went through.
Yeah, I think one of the best parts is being in the midfield and having, Alyssa on the offense and having Darcy on the defense, that I can really go to Darcy with things that I need. I know that she has my back defensively when I have questions, and Alyssa offensively, she's more offensively focused. So whenever I have any questions offensively, I know she's got my back and has the answer for me. And just being able to live in a house together and live in the dorms together really just grew us together. We just did everything together. We'd go and eat meals together, and just like the small things like that, they just always have my back. And I know whenever I ever need anything, I have them right there for me. So it's definitely a special connection. I know that I'm going to have them forever. So definitely thankful for having them as teammates and best friends.
Okay, well, Alexa, Darcy, and Alyssa, thank you so much for joining us today on the line. First of all, stay healthy, enjoy the summer, and we look forward to seeing the three of you back on the field coming up next year.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.